Next on the agenda is we're going to have a roundtable discussion with the Glasscock School-Based Decision-Making Council. If you all will come up here, and we're going to, Todd's going to get everybody a chair. What's on your mind? If there's anything that you would like to, any issues that you would like to bring up to us, or just anything that you have in mind, this is the time to do it. We have 3 minutes, go.
I would just like to thank the board for some educational tools that we got last year. And the first was the Odyssey program. It's a learning-based curriculum, and we used that training for our first work day in October. And I've made some notes here. So. But what it does is when the child takes the MAP test and the assessment, it automatically pulls those scores into this curriculum, and it helps differentiate where that child is and what skills the student needs to work on to become better for the next MAP test. Or it also is an enrichment type program for it. And some of the things I've seen in I'm in kindergarten, so we're not taking the MAP test yet, and we had to design our own curriculum through there. But the neatest thing I've seen is I have students that's able to get on the computer at home and work on those skills at home. And we do a lot of rewarding with that. Whenever we have a report that we print off, and I can see how long they've been on the program, how successful they've been on it, and they're not able to move up to another level until they complete their little curriculum.
I have a question. Did you say that you can tell how long he's been on it at home also?
Yes.
Okay.
I get a printout once a week, and it tells what time of the day the child's on it. So I know what time he's on it during school time, and I also see the date in even to the minute on what the child's on it during the evening time. Sometimes they're on it pretty late to be in kindergarten. They're on it. They're using it. And I have a non-English speaking student that just came to our student. Her father's from this area. He's in the Navy, and he married a Japanese lady. And they were just here for a month, but I'm able to put her on that, and she's going to be able to use that even when she leaves our school for the remainder of the school year. She can still work on her English speaking skills through that program. And it goes from, you know, the kindergarten level all the way to the high school level. So that's been really good. And I really see it integrating what the kids need for 21st century skills. And probably my only concern with that is we do have a lot of students that don't have internet access at home. And that's probably, I guess, our next step that we need to look at to make that better. The second work day, we learn pagan strategies. And that's the old time cooperative learning groups. We had in the 80s, we put a group of children together, and they learn how to interact. But it takes it a step further, and it makes each student accountable, and all students feel comfortable doing these strategies. And what I do is I teach a lesson for about 10 minutes. We take a break. It's called a class building activity where the kids are able to interact for a few minutes, and I'll give them a question to think about, and they'll walk around the room while the music's playing. I stop the music. They notice to find the nearest person they're next to. They sit down and sit knee to knee, crisscross on the floor, and we choose who's going to be the first speaker and who's going to be the listener. It is teaching, like the question, maybe tell me some words that begin with the letter F. And the listener has to listen to their partner, and then I'll ask the listeners to tell me what the partner said. So it's teaching listening skills. And then we always thank the person for sharing. And then we may do it again, and then it's just the opposite. The speaker becomes a listener. So it's a little class break time. It reinforces what we've been doing. All the kids have to be accountable. And I can monitor around the room and watch. And even as 5-year-olds, they are very in tune, and they enjoy the Kagan strategies. And I'm thinking we're asking for more training this fall, this summer with it. So it's just a really neat program.
And I work with special education students, and it's a very good program for them as well, because I've been using a rally coach kind of thing with them where they can tell the other student what they're doing. They can coach them through their strategies, what they're using for their strategy. And then that other student may hear something that kind of turns on that light bulb for them and think, hey, I can do it that way too. So, you know, even kids that have difficulty with certain learning styles, they can see, look, that's how they're doing it, maybe that'll work for me.
Has the parent reps, have you used the program?
I like to do this at the very beginning, and I always get to talking and I forget. Would you mind telling us your name and whether you're a parent rep or a teacher? Okay, you know, what position you hold on the site-based council?
I'm Judith Mock, and I'm a parent.
I'm Jerry K. Adams, I'm a teacher representative.
C.D. Williams, teacher.
Beverly Smiley, parent representative.
Michael Wright, special education teacher.
Jason Elder, parent.
No.
And I also wanted to thank the board for the new reading series. I know that was a big chunk of money last year, but it's a very thorough program. I'm teaching grammar, parts of the speech to my kindergartners, and they're embracing it. And it's a very, just has so much in it, but it's aligned right with those Common Core standards that we've got to teach our children in. And I see them being better readers than what they've ever had. So thank you very much for that investment.
You already see an improvement.
I do. I was doing running records with some of my students who were, they have to have a level 4 level before they leave kindergarten. And it starts out with A, B's, and C's that put them in as a pre-reader. And at Christmas, I had some that were on level 1, and I did a running record with these children just this week, and they were on level 5. And I've been in the classroom 28 years, and I'm seeing a bigger growth with their reading skills than what I had in the past.
What about the struggling readers?
There's an intervention program that is with this whole series, and I use it with my students, and it's a lower level reader that they can use, and I've had a lot of success with that. They really enjoy it, and it links into the story that the regular education room is using as well.
So overall, you feel like we're gaining in reading overall?
We do have, you know, our numbers of students who weren't ready for kindergarten was very high this year. And I think it's like 56%. And I know out of our kindergarten class, we have just a little over 100 students now. And January, I guess it's January, Snowy's kind of confused me. We still had 22 students who were not on level, but that's basically 20% versus the 56% we had earlier. So we either have worked miracles or something. I don't know, but
Pat yourself on the back.
yeah, it's been a challenge. This is a challenging group, but I do see them learning those reading skills, and it's repetitious. It's like Jerry Kate said that each week in my literacy groups, I have 4 levels of readers, and they all have their readers. And it's all based on themes, so we're not, we don't have a lot of time for a lot of themes that we used to teach units, but it does a good job pulling our science or social studies in.
And I'd like to say thank you for having us here. I can tell there's been a lot of preparation, but also I love the slide with the kindergartners and the storytelling. Boy, that has got to go a long way at that age to be in here and be interactive. So good job on that. I love it. Yes, very good.
Is she going to do all the talking?
No. I'm finished.
And this is fine. I mean, we don't have to get into anything major, or that's this is the time to tell us what's on your mind. Like I tell all the other site-based councils when we visit, if there's things that you need, tell us what you need, and then we'll tell you we don't have the money. But, you know, it's a good rapport between you all.
And Jason hadn't said anything much, and I'd like to hear from the parents too that's on the campus.
I think the teachers have been doing a good job. And obviously our scores have come up a little. Piggybacking on what Cindy was talking about on the new books, I can tell that it helps a whole lot. I like how the students have their story that they're reading throughout the week. At the beginning, it has their vocabulary to focus on, and then also their literacy book could be a totally different story, but it also follows that same vocabulary throughout that story to help them learn it. And I think it is an excellent program.
And see what you're saying, I think that's worth a lot. You know, hearing how you go through the steps, which tells me, you know, that it's happening at home also. So.
I like the Odyssey program. My daughter, both of them, actually my middle school user and my youngest use it. And my middle school, well, Mom, I'm only one my teacher said I got over the holiday weekend or something because, you know, there's not too many middle school use it, but they pretty much, you know, use it when we are home. So that is a real good program.
On the way to the resource rooms each morning, I've got kids begging me, can I get on the Learning Odyssey today? So that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And that's on
It's through Compass, if you go onto the website.
website.
Compass, I'm not sure if you can get into the program or not. Just Google it, and it tells a lot. It's just really, we've had a lot of computer programs that's kind of come and gone, but this was one that was really quick to get implemented in your classroom. The passwords are like a mile long, and I have little note cards, and the kids are learning the passwords, and Miss Margot, I'm not sure her last name is, but she comes and she's been here twice, just as a resource. And she just gives us little pointers, and it can be used for RTI students when you have interventions for struggling students. And, you know, you can actually just get down there and see where they're having troubles with. And, but I think the neatest thing is how then they can take that MAP test, and it just goes to that program, and the teacher doesn't have to plan the individualized program.
But there's something important about what you're saying and what he's saying, as far as I'm concerned, and that is don't leave it all up to that computer.
No, right.
You know, somewhere along the line, you have to see the real world, and what he's saying tells me that that child is in the real world.
Right.
You know, sometimes don't depend on that computer to tell you all everything.
Right.
Sometimes it needs to be just the old hard copy test, so that you do know what that kid is doing for sure.
But you were talking about kids wanting to get on that website.
Correct.
Do they have the time and the resources for all of them that want to get on it?
I can't speak for all the students, but I know my students, we have built-in time for it. And it sounds like a lot of the other teachers are doing that as well.
Usually, like with first and second grades, which is the grades I work with primarily, we're using it as a center rotation. Because there's usually only about 6 computers in a classroom, so that gives you a core group that get to go and have like that 15 to 20 minutes on the program, and then they circulate as the week. So every student's having an opportunity to be on there probably at least an hour throughout the week, and then if they have access at home, they're getting that additional time.
And
we
guess,
use it
and guess
for
what they did
ESS
on
as
snow
well.
days?
I see.
They utilized it on snow days.
I would like to comment on that, because Mrs. Williams, she does have one of my children in her classroom, and she does put on the newsletter that comes out that if the parents do not have internet service at home, that she would give them extra classroom time for the computers. So that's, you know, I don't know if the other teachers are doing it or not, I know that she does it. And then it gives you, you know, so the child won't feel like they're being left behind because they don't have that internet service at home. But another thing is, there is the library. So if the parents don't have it at home, the library does have internet service that they can use. And if they can't, if the children in kindergarten, a lot of them may not be able to get library cards at this time, but their parents may be able to get it and put them on. Because I know with my 5-year-old, he doesn't have a library card. So I go and I put him on my lap and we get on the computer at the library. So that is another option.
What percentage of students don't have internet service at home, would you guess?
In my class, their parents have, I know their parents have Facebook, but I think you get that on weekly programs. I'd say almost 75% at my grade level. Now maybe, probably almost 75%.
Really?
I have a lot of children that
Well,
say, we don't have a computer at
I
home.
believe you, Facebook, I believe you got that internet service, I think.
But I think that's through their phones.
Phones. Parents that have it on
The
their
parents
phone.
have their
Okay,
phones,
okay,
but you
okay.
can't access
yeah.
the program through a
I see.
phone. It has to be.
Right.
But you know which ones don't have the internet.
do
So
know.
you
Okay.
give them more time?
Okay.
That's
Yes, I
very
do.
good, very good.
I try to make sure everybody has the equal advantage there.
Good.
Well, thank you all.
Good question.
Taking the time. Very good.